Hi, this is Angie, a Polished Picture. In today's video tutorial, I want to show you how to do a basic clean edit. And this one's going to take advantage of the fall colors that most of our images have this time of year. So let's get started. The very first thing I do on an image is to clean up any discolorations or blemishes. And in this image, it was really cold outside and her little cheek is kind of pink, so I wanted to take down some of that redness in her cheek. So I'm going to use the patch tool for that. So I'm going to create a new layer by hitting Command or Control J. And I'm going to get the patch tool, and I'm just going to, because this is a larger area, I'm going to do it in pieces. So I'm going to do that top side and just drag it to a area of clear skin. I grab this bottom area, and I think I'm actually just going to drag that up. So you can see already there from the red cheek to it's kind of cleared out. So that's a good starting place to clean it up. Okay, the next thing is this image is pretty cool looking, like cool in color and tone. So I'm going to warm it up. I'm going to run my warmer action. Okay, and that's available for free on my website. And I like the overall color that this gave the image, but what I always do when I do a warmer type action is I mask out the eyes. Like, we don't want to make the whites of the eyes start looking yellow. So I'm going to grab a brush just by hitting the B key, and I'm going to make sure it's on 100% and that the color is black and that my mask is selected, and I'm going to paint over her eyes just to bring the whiteness back, white and blueness back to them. And because her outfit is pink, I'm going to paint over her body a little bit at maybe like a 50% opacity, so not like the entire image gets warmed up, just kind of the background and the scenery and her skin a little bit. So there's the before and the after. And I'm actually going to duplicate this, the warm layer, and I'm going to take the opacity down, I don't know, a little bit more. Okay. So here is where we started, and here's where we are. You could see that her cheek is less pink and the environment is warmed up a little bit. So that's good for me. Next, I want to even out the, I just want to make her skin a little bit more even, take some of the shadows away. And so I'm going to do a curves layer. And I have a tutorial on this, so I'll link it below the video. But I don't want to get any lighter than this on her face, so I'm going to put a point there. But I'm going to take this shadowy area and I'm going to pull it up a little bit. So I'm going to show you the before and after. You could see that evened out the skin on her face. Now, I don't want to lighten the whole photo, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the mask and hit Command I to invert the mask. So it's black now, so you can't even see the effect. So we're going to paint it in with our white brush. So I'm going to hit the B key for brush, change my colors over here to white, and I'm just going to paint this on her face. And not really her eyes. I am going to do it on her eyes. So here's the before and after. You could see it's not a huge difference, but when you're looking at a distance, it kind of just brightens up her whole face. So the before and the after. So that's all I'm going to do there. The next thing I'm going to do is run an eye sparkling action. I know we're at a distance, so you're not really going to see a whole lot of eye sparkle, but it will just make the eyes pop a little bit. So I'm going to flatten all of my layers right now, and just by hitting Command or Control Shift E is the shortcut for flatten. And then I'm going to run my sparkling eyes action. And I'm going to zoom in, get a small brush, and hit your 2 to make this 20% up here. And just paint over the eyes at about 20%. And again, it's not going to be a huge difference, but I'll show you the before and after. If I turn this off and on, you can see that it makes her eyes pop a little bit. So especially when we're looking at the image as a whole, her eyes, pop out at us a little bit more. When we flattened out, when we took some of the contrast out of her skin, we kind of lost some rosiness. So here's a trick that I like to do just to bring a little pinkness back into their cheeks and their lips. I'm just going to create a new layer, and I am going to use the eyedropper tool. So just hit I for eyedropper, and I click on this like color in her lips, just something that's kind of dark, and I want to enhance that. So I've clicked on this, it's given us this color here, but then I want to brighten it up. So I kind of move up and over to the right to get a little bit of a brighter color and hit OK. And then use the brush. And I'm going to put this on color mode. And we're just going to do like 10%. Just going to kind of like you would blush. Just kind of a click here and a click there, and then reduce the size a little bit. Click here and a click there. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but you could tell that it just brings a little bit of life back into her cheeks here. And then I make my brush small and go over her lips a little bit. And again, this is not, you might not even be able to tell from the video, but it brings a little bit of life back into her face after we've evened out the skin tone. Okay, so I'm happy with that where it is. I'm going to go ahead and merge it down. So Command or Control Shift D merges your layers flat. And then for a little punch, there's an action that I have on my site for free called Silky Punch. I'm going to go ahead and run that. It does a great job at just kind of making fall colors pop. And now here it is at full intensity. And to me, this is completely overdone on her and really in the background. We need to reduce the opacity. Let's do it down to about like 50% here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask her out at maybe like 80%. So we're going to take most of the effect off her. So I'm going to get my brush, change it to black, because I'm going to paint on the mask and mask this effect off of her. And I'm going to hit my backslash key. You can see where I've painted. I'm masking that off of her. And here is the before and after of the Silky Punch action. So you can just see it kind of brightens and gives a little bit of depth to the background. And then the last thing, or one of the last things I'm going to do is run my vignette action. This really just, there we go, puts the layer on multiply, and then again I'm going to mask her out, and this time I'm going to do it at 100% because I don't want any of this dark effect to be on her at all. So we're going to mask her out, and then obviously this difference is far too unreal, so we're going to reduce the layer of this until it looks about right. Let's see. So here's the before and the after. Just, you know, kind of deepens the background. And this step is completely optional, but sometimes I like the depth that it gives to the image. So again, I'm going to flatten it, and I'm going to run a high pass sharpening action. And just, I'm only going to paint this on her, so I'm going to hit Alt or Option and click the layer mask, and it will mask the effect out. And I'm going to sharpen her like 100%. So she's nice and sharpened in the foreground, and her background is kind of soft and silky. And then we're going to flatten one last time. So I always like to do this at the end. Go back into your history and take a snapshot of where you are right now. And then you can see the before and the after. So we didn't do a ton to this photo, but it just kind of warmed it up and gave it some depth and just a little bit more life. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. There should be links under the video for some of the other actions and tutorials I've referenced. And thanks for watching.